And welcome back to EDH Deck Building. I am your host, Demo, and the game of Magic has irrevocably changed forever. Of course, a topic of discussion for, well, obviously for me and a lot of other people as well. And before you switch off this video, because here goes Demo complaining again, I'm actually probably going to be doing a little bit of the opposite. All right. This is sort of me accepting the situation and where we are moving forward. Of course, I have complained, as a lot of people have, about basically the aesthetics of the game of Magic and the universes beyond, and even just the non-universes beyond stuff, like, of course, Aether Drift, which we just got, in which I did a whole lot of complaining about. Even the sets that are normal Magic sets don't even really feel like Magic anymore, but you know, what really feels like Magic anymore? I mean, this is basically what Magic is now. And this video is me sort of maybe accepting it. Also announcing to all my viewers that I will no longer be complaining about it. At this point, it's kind of useless to be complaining about, you know, oh, more universes beyond stuff, or oh, now they're doing SpongeBob, or now they're doing this. Going forward, if all you were doing was complaining about it, you would be doing more complaining than not complaining, right? So this is me saying I won't be complaining about it anymore. Okay, so for all you people who are tired of me complaining about stuff, I will no longer be complaining about the aesthetics of sets and, oh, here's another like SpongeBob. And I mean, I don't like it. I think everyone knows I don't like it. And I think a lot of you also don't like it. There's going to be a lot of dumb stuff moving forward. And there's basically three ways that you can deal with it. First off, you can just be okay with it or accept it. And I guess for the people out there that don't care, the people that really loved Aether Drift and the theme of that set, then I guess they don't have a problem, right? The interesting thing was when you have, you like the race car theme from Aether Drift, but then you're really going to hate the sci-fi space theme of whatever that set is coming up, right? It's like, okay, well, either you like the non-magic aesthetic that is being applied to all these sets, or either you're okay with it or you're not. I think liking some and not liking the other is being a little hypocritical in my opinion. So for me, I'm kind of just like not really a big fan of all of it. But at the same time, again, after this video, you will not hear me complaining anymore. So option number one is you just, okay, this is how Magic is now. Going forward, nothing I can do about it. All the complaining is pointless. I will just not buy the products I don't like. You vote with your wallet, essentially, right? The products I don't like, just like I did with Aether Drift. Aether Drift was a set that I hated the aesthetic, and even though there were some great cards, I will not be purchasing those cards because I hate how that set looks so much, particularly the race car flag. And, it hurts a little. Spectacular Pileup is a card that I really like, mechanically speaking, outside of the name and the picture and the checkered flag set symbol. Outside of all that, I actually really like this card a lot. That being said, I actually said the same thing about By Invitation Only, funny enough. And when this first came out in Crimson Vow, I hated the name By Invitation Only. Thought that was a real dumb name. If you guys don't remember, there was like a wedding theme there was a really silly theme for a set. It was like a wedding themed set. And I didn't really like that either. They've been doing this for a long time, so it's nothing new. Crimson Vow had this sort of weird wedding theme in it, and a lot of the cards had kind of dumb names like Wedding Invitation. So this is something that has been happening for a while, and again, I have come to accept it. I play By Invitation Only in like all my decks. Don't love the name. I still don't love the name, but I absolutely love the card. And of course, I'm not going to forego playing it because the name is kind of stupid. Maybe someday I'll come around on Spectacular Pileup. Who knows? But for now, basically, you just either accept the way things are going and avoid the new cards that come out that you're not interested in. Or option number two is you start playing either Commander, or you could do this with other formats as well. You just start playing formats where new cards don't apply. And this is another solution, one I've actually looked at. I'm never going to stop playing Commander, but there are other options. I've talked about pre-EDH. And I built an Azmira pre-EDH deck. I did it in I think my very last video of the year, where in pre-EDH, you are basically not playing new cards. I believe it is everything pre 2011 or the first Commander set. So, of course, the first Commander set came out in 2011. That's when and you could definitely argue that they were printing cards for Commander before that, but that is when they definitively, for sure, started printing cards for the Commander format. So, if you really hate all the new stuff coming out, and again, this applies to Power Creep and all these cards that are made for the Commander format, all the silly busted commanders, all that. It applies to all that stuff. You can just play pre-EDH. And I think it is quite possible to even compete with a deck. I mean, this is the great thing about the Commander format. If everyone's playing a casual Commander deck, even if you had a pre-EDH deck and you don't have any new cards, you don't have a Smothering Tithe, or you don't have a, I don't know, whatever some new busted card is, I think you would still be okay. Right? I mean, I already don't play Smothering Tithe. I already don't play a lot of these cards. And there obviously is a lot of old busted cards that you could put in your deck as well. So doing that is, okay, you could find a play group that plays pre-EDH and avoid all these stupid cards you don't like, all the Universes Beyond, all the Power Creep, all of that. But you could also bring your pre-EDH deck to a table of everyone just playing regular old Commander, and I think you'll be okay. You can do this with other formats as well. Pre-Modern is, it's not very popular, but it is a format that I was looking at, and it is right in the era of all of the, basically what I think is the best era for Magic, which is I think it starts at like Ice Age maybe, or 4th edition, something like that, and goes up to, of course, pre-modern, so before Mirrodin 8th edition, and just a lot of really neat old cards. That's a really fun format to be looking at as well. But those are other options. That's another option for you if you really don't like the way things are going moving forward. The other option is you just quit, right? And that, unfortunately, and I'm not recommending anyone quit, but unfortunately, that is something that I have heard people doing. I've heard in my comments, especially the last year, I heard in my comments an absolute ton of people. They're just done. They either you stop buying Magic cards entirely, or you just quit Magic entirely. And in fact, I had a message on my Discord here from one of my patrons. This was, about a month ago, I think now. Swannington, it's officially time. I'm doing inventory, then selling the whole lot. And I said, selling what? And they said, my cards. I opened some sealed for the first time and just felt nothing but disdain. New sets and cards aren't exciting or interesting anymore. Sure, I like to play Commander, but I hate sitting down at a table with 5,000 IPs and having no idea what anything does without a lexicon. So, unfortunately, that is the way a lot of people are feeling. And as I said in my year-end video, a lot of people think the Universes Beyond stuff is great because it brings people into the game. It's also chasing people away from the game. So there is that as well. So chasing off people that have been invested in the game and love the game and been playing it for 20, 30 years is, that's not a great game plan as far as Wizards of the Coast go. And, if they're actually trying to make money, obviously they're trying to make money. Okay, but chasing off guys that have been invested in the game for 20 years, that's not a great way to make money either. Again, that's not going to happen for me. I'm going to look for other alternatives. I'm never going to stop playing Magic. If it gets really bad, I might start looking in other directions. But for now, for me, it is mostly I'm just going to avoid the things I don't like. And I am just going to stop complaining. I mean, this is the way Magic is now, right? Magic the Gathering, this is the way it is. And funny enough, I played a game recently with my patrons where it really made me come around a little bit. As far as the Universes Beyond stuff and the aesthetic and all of that, a lot of people bring up Arabian Nights a lot. And of course, Arabian Nights is almost kind of like the first Universes Beyond set, where it's not Magic IP. I mean, Aladdin, all of that, Sinbad, all that kind of stuff. So that has been a thing kind of in the game of Magic pretty much since the beginning, sort of, although I would argue that Aladdin and Sinbad fit in the game of Magic a little bit better than does like Transformers or something like that. It is kind of funny how quickly we went from people losing their minds over the Walking Dead stuff and people losing their minds over like the Stranger Things cards to, that was only a few years ago. Now, more and more people are becoming accepting of it. I am certainly becoming more accepting of it, as I talked about with by invitation only. And maybe I'm even more accepting of it now. And again, this video just isn't me complaining. It's actually me sort of coming around a little bit. I played a game with my patrons recently, and One of my patrons had Discord Lord of Disharmony as their commander. Of course, we rule zeroed it. It's not a legal commander. And honestly, this is something I've advocated for on my channel since the very beginning of, yeah, I don't care. Like, are we just playing a fun casual commander game? That's all I care about. And I made my video about rule zeroing and how you should be able to allow whatever the hell you want in a rule zero discussion as long as all the players involved agree. And certainly that is the case with a silver bordered card, which this is. And funny enough, this is like the OG Universes Beyond. This came out, I believe, in a secret lair years ago, and it's My Little Pony. If you're not familiar with the character, I wasn't. I had no idea. That little set symbol with the heart there, it's My Little Pony. And of course, originally when they did Universes Beyond, I think they did some Transformers stuff as well, because of course that's Hasbro material that they wanted to do. They put the silver border on it, which of course is just like with unsets. And the reason they did it is so that it wasn't legal in, pretty much any format. And also because it did have a very unfeel with what the card was doing, right? And of course, it is a legendary creature, though. So it kind of fits there. And if you want to rule zero it, and we did, we were totally okay with it, even though it is a very interesting card. 2 black, red, Chimera 3/5 with flying. At the beginning of your end step, choose a random non-land magic card name. Until your next end step, you may cast a copy of a spell with that name, and mana of any type can be spent to cast it. If you cast a spell this way, copy the ability if Discord is on the battlefield. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. I was like, let's do it. And they had built a really interesting deck. They actually had an app on their phone that they could generate a random magic card. So there was no shenanigans going on. And it was fun. I got to be honest, it was actually a really fun commander game. Watching them generate these random cards, we were all having a good laugh at it. And it really made me realize that, at the end of the day, as I say all the time, with regards to what cards are casual and what commanders should people be playing and all this stuff, at the end of the day, I always say, are we playing a casual, fun commander game? If we're doing that, mission accomplished. That's the mission. The mission is, I want to sit down with 3 other people and play a casual, fun commander game. And if we've done that, mission accomplished, okay? I've played plenty of supposed casual commander games that weren't fun at all. So I guess we failed there, right? Someone having Discord Lord of Disharmony in the game made the game fun. It was fun. It was casual. It was a blast. So even though this certainly is a Universes Beyond card and doesn't fit the normal aesthetic of a Magic game, it certainly was fun. That part got accomplished very easily. And, again, this gets into a bigger topic of what card is casual and all of that kind of stuff. And, a lot of people will say, I don't want to see a Gaia's Cradle in a commander game ever. Are you playing Unicorn Tribal? If you are, then probably it's not an issue. If you're playing an Elf Ball deck, now it's an issue, right? That's why, again, getting to the whole power rankings thing and all of that, evaluating individual cards doesn't really make a big difference. It matters what you're doing in your deck. It doesn't really matter the individual cards. I said that about the bannings last year. I said that about so many different topics. And the same applies to stuff like this as well, where, okay, it's a silver bordered card. It's very obviously Universes Beyond, or I guess even before there was Universes Beyond, it's a silly, My Little Pony card that's doing a silly thing. They came prepared with their app on their phone to generate the cards. And at the end of the day, we had a fun commander game, and that's really what it's all about for me. And going forward, that is what it is all about for me. I just want to play fun, casual commander games. That's it. And regardless of what my opponent has in the command zone, again, I would rather have them, have a My Little Pony card or an uncommander or something like that in the command zone than some busted commander that just came out in the last set. How many people would say that? How many people would say, pick the busted, super annoying, maybe like a Eureka or a Turgid or whatever? Would you rather see that in the command zone, or would you rather see Discord, a Lord of Disharmony, or some uncommander or something like that, right? So that's kind of what I'm getting at. And again, playing that game and everything else is sort of maybe get to a point where I'm like, okay, I've accepted this is where Magic the Gathering is now. Certainly isn't going to change. All the complaining in the world that I can do on my channel isn't going to make Wizards of the Coast change a damn thing. So I'm done with the complaining. All the people that are sick and tired of me complaining, I'm done. You won't hear me talk about the aesthetics of cards anymore. I might drop the tiniest little, I don't really like this, But that's it. I won't be going off. Aether Driftwood was the last set where I really went off complaining about how much I hate the aesthetic of that set. But going forward, I'm done complaining. I'm just going to accept this is the way things are moving forward, because ultimately all I really care about is having a fun, casual Commander game. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. That's it for today, and thanks.